Hello, my name is Ilona and today it's Monday, December 9th, 2024, and in this video I first want to talk about a very interesting study from 29 pages called Analysis and Assessment of the Gateway Process from 1983 by US Army Lieutenant Colonel Wayne M. McDowell, and apparently it was released in 2003 by a certain agency that starts with a C and it's got an I and it's got an A. And it's now actually resurfacing on the social media, and it mentions that reincarnation is true, that conscience never really dies, and it's very interesting to read. So this is from 1983. Also, I saw that there was another study done by a university, if I'm not mistaken, of Virginia Medical School, Division of Perceptual Studies. They've got a database with 2,500 cases of reincarnations, usually children younger than 5, because they still remember things. What's also interesting in this report is like the paranormal abilities used to spy on people and to use it like remote viewing. That's also being talked about in this report. I just thought that was very interesting. So there is a lot more information than we think, and I think these things are going to resurface more and more. The other thing I thought was interesting, I shared it on my Telegram already, there was in Norway 151 windmills, wind turbines, I think that would be the correct terms. Wind turbines, you know, for the new green energy has to be removed by a court. They say that it has to be removed because it's actually, how do you say this, interfering with the procreation of reindeers. I'm sure there people are also aware that wind turbines are not very good for the, you know, if they're put in sea, that's not very good for the sea life. But now these things are going to come out and we're going to hear more and more about this. That it's really a disaster, and this is all part of this stupid, you know, agenda that they have with all these climate things to control people. And really, it's really starting to show now. So I thought that was interesting as well. In this video, I actually have taken a look at two things. First of all, Syria, and the second thing I've looked at is Israel. This is very interesting in Syria because, of course, as Assad has traveled to Russia, at least he resigned and got out of there and moved to Russia. There's also a message from Mr. T about this, which is very interesting in itself. Assad is gone, he has fled his country, his protector Russia was not interested in protecting him any longer. There was no reason for Russia to be there in the first place. They lost all interest in Syria because of Ukraine. And he's mentioning that Russia and Iran are in a weakened state right now. This is what Mr. T mentions. I'm not sure if that is really true, but this is all part of the chess game at least. Likewise, Mr. Z from Ukraine would like to make a deal and stop the madness. So I think this is going to lead to the end of, you know, with Ukraine and Russia. We do know when Mr. T will step in January, that this is going to be arranged pretty soon. But I just thought, what is going on now in Syria? To me, it felt like this is showing people what's been going on for such a long time, especially like it seems like the dark energies are now back in control again. You know, all these groups, they have a certain background. They are connected to Israel. Of course, the dark energies of Israel and also the dark energies of the USA. We see here even in the Netherlands, there are like politicians who think this is a great thing, that this has happened. It's very interesting. And the cards I've got is the Two of Pentacles. We've got the Knight of Swords. We have the Lover's card in the past. We have the Five of Swords underneath the Knight of Swords. And then we have for the future, we've got the Emperor and the Wheel of Fortune. To me, this feels like ultimately the military will take, you know, will step up. I believe it will be the white hats that will step up, because to me the emperor is like the white hat military part of the military. Of course, there are still some dark energies there as well, although I think they've been cleaning house for quite some time now. And this is about clearing up karmic situations. But I have a feeling this is now being shown to show what all these influences have been, because there's a lot of fighting, you know, there's a lot of power trips as well, the power plays with the Five of Swords. So I do believe, like, it seems like they've gained all this control, but I think it's going to prove and show what's really been going on all this time with all these other countries around the world, with the influence from certain agency that starts with a C. They've got an I and they have an A. That been really working all around the world to establish certain people, establish certain groups, keep it all mess and chaotic. We of course have the Israeli influence in that. I'm going to take a look at Israel as well after this card reading, but there is so much going on there, and I think this is on the larger, if you look at it, the bigger picture, this is really to show people what's been going on. But right now, obviously all things are happening. But to me, I understand there are people, of course, out there who see, well, the dark energies are winning anyway, and Israel is already taking control of a certain area in Syria, and they see this as a success. I just have a feeling this is all purposely done in a way, and it's necessary. You need to show people, you can't tell them, they need to see that, because what's happened there in that area in a lot of countries in the Middle East have happened in the Ukraine and in other countries as well, and it needs to be shown. It's about restoring the balance, and I believe that ultimately the balance will be restored and all these karmic situations will come to an end. That's the feeling I'm getting with Syria. Second thing I want to take a look at is Israel. Very interesting. I saw a clip also, I believe I shared it on my Telegram channel, from Netanyahu, where I really looked at him. I was like, is that really him? Is that really him? There was something very odd about it. It's almost like it was AI, or something was very off about it, but that's how I looked at it. I believe that things are really moving there as well. And these are the cards I got for Israel. We've got the Strength card. We've got the King of Swords. We have the Tower card in the past. So a lot of things have already happened there and collapsed. We've got the Eight of Cups underneath the King of Swords. And then for the future, we have the Page of Cups and the Hanged Man. So to me, it seems like it will lead to a completely different point of view. I think it's all connected. A certain letter in the alphabet has mentioned that Israel will be saved for last. So many things are happening there, and I believe that it will return the power to the people there. I believe we need to separate the dark energies in Israel, and of course the people in Israel who really want to have nothing to do with everything that's happening around them. We really need to separate them. A lot of manipulation going on, but also moving away from this manipulation. I do believe that a lot of people living there are kind of tired of what's going on, and re-establishing their strength again, just getting back into their own power, moving away from this situation, and from also all this manipulation. But I believe a lot of things have already happened there. A lot of things, especially this one in the past. A lot of messing up, narratives falling apart. But there will be a new perspective coming, a different way of looking at things, and it will be given to the people of Israel, but also worldwide. We're going to see things in a different perspective. That's the Hanged Man is all about. So this is what I've got. In the Dutch video, I also talked about something that had to do with there has been a scandal here in the Netherlands that had to do with taxes. It was from our government. And it put a lot of people in awful positions. They had to pay back a lot of money, which was completely not supported by anything. It had to do with all kinds of strange things. A lot of children were taken from the house, from their parents. I even shared a clip from a woman talking about this on, I think it was on the Dutch media. Not really sure where it's from, but I shared a clip, although it is in Dutch, talking about that she hasn't seen her children for 9 years. And they were just taken from her. She couldn't even say goodbye to them. She got to see them once, I believe, and a few times, and then it all changed, and they're supposed to be taking care of the government side of the youth we call it jeugdzorg here in I believe it's like CPS in America, comparable. And they just made sure that she didn't see her children suddenly at all. So they were just, it's just incredibly sad. And still a lot of children haven't been returned to their parents. And this entire situation actually caused a government to fall a couple of years ago. But really, there is still things going on. Still things aren't worked out. And I got very angry about that because they've made a TV series about this. And I think that's a good thing to show really what has happened. And now apparently people from the taxes here, the IRS here, the Dutch IRS, are complaining about that because they think it's too dramatized. And they have lots of stress and feeling injustice about what is happening. And it's really shocking to me that they feel stressed, like their children's been taken away from them. They had to live out on the streets and lost their homes and lost a lot of money, you know, they had to pay back. Like that happened to them. They were the cause of that. And now everything is coming out. And of course, there's going to be a lot of criticisms about that. And I think that is good. And now they're like viewed. They see themselves as the victims in this entire situation. And so I, to be very honest, think that is awful. I also taken a look at the, it's of course very Dutch. It's completely, how do you say it? It's not very, maybe not that interesting worldwide, but I do think these things will be coming up in other countries as well. The abuse from the government in these situations and putting people in awful situations, taking away children. Yes, that is very interesting as well. So we all know what happens with that as well. Anyway, I've also did a card reading on that, and right now they're trying to push back. They're still trying to obstruct everything. That's what I got from the cards. That's why the situation, there's still all these power plays happening because nobody wants to take responsibility. But I saw in the future that there's going to be a new person coming in that will clear up things. There'll be like a new beginning. We'll have to wait and see. I hope so. I feel awful for the parents involved in the situation and the children involved. Because how traumatic is that to be taken away from your parents and put somewhere else? And I have personal experience with that as well. Though in my case, it was in a way voluntarily. So that's a different situation. But still, when you are very young and you end up in a completely different situation, especially as a teenager, that is awful. And for the parents not knowing what is happening and what's going on with your children must be horrifying, just horrifying. So I'd like to leave it at this. Hope to see you in another video.